कारणे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं हरिः ॐ तत्सत्। हरे कृष्ण।
Anything is fine.
Hare Krishna. I'm very, very happy to be here amongst all of you. We are celebrating the 150th appearance of His Divine Grace, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, SrilaBhaktisiddhanta. The appearance day was on Thursday, but we are still celebrating. So today, I have the great privilege of discussing the life and teachings of His Divine Grace, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada. I'll just put my phone to silent. We'll start this discussion. Okay, the format of today's discussion is like this. I'm not going to tell you a history lesson. ये हुआ था, वो हुआ था, ऐसा हुआ था, वैसा हुआ था. We are going to discuss some pastimes, and then we'll try to derive some learning lessons from it. It will be a little bit interactive, so that we can just try to appreciate more and more. Otherwise, it will be just lost and forgotten. So many acharyas have done so many great things, but the Kali Yuga mind remembers nothing. So basically, this is today's discussion. Today's class is like a discussion, like an exercise, where we'll discuss something and try to derive the learning lesson from it. We'll begin our discussion by chanting the Pranam Mantra. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati iti namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripabhaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jvala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddhapa Siddhanta Dhvanta Harine. It's a very beautiful pranam mantra, quite a long pranam. We'll take it step by step. This Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale, this is common in all pranam mantras, in ISKCON mostly. This basically means I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale, who is presently on this earth planet. Srimad, and he is Vishnupad. Vishnupad means one who has taken shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna or Vishnu. And then Shri Varshabhanavi Dayataya Kripabhaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Nama. So Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Dayita. Vrishabhanu is the name of the father of Srimati Radharani. So Radharani is called as Varshabhanavi Devi, the daughter of Krishna. Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daita Dasa means one who has been favored by Srimati Radharani, or one who has got the mercy of Srimati Radharani, or one who is the servant of Srimati Radharani. So Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daita Dasa is another name of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So I offer my respectful obeisances to Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daita Das, who is favored by Srimati Radharani and who is the ocean of transcendental mercy and the deliverer of the signs of Krishna. Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave. In today's discussion, we will understand what is the science of Krishna. This whole Bhakti Yoga is a science. And we need to understand it very scientifically, tattvataha, not on an emotional or a sentimental platform. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was very famous of delivering that science to us. this Krishna Sambandha Vijnana. If Krishna Sambandha Vijnana is a science, then acharyas like Rupa Goswami are the foremost spiritual scientists who have delivered that science in their nectar of devotion in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Madhurojvala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida. I offer my respectful obeisances to you, the personified energy of Sri Chaitanya's mercy, Sri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya. So if Lord Chaitanya's mercy takes a form, that is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And what did he do? Who delivered devotional service which is enriched with the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna. So very few acharyas, they talk about the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, which is the essential Sankirtan rasa of our movement. Sometimes in the books of Srila Prabhupada, you will find the photo of Ras Leela and the photo of Sankirtan Leela side by side, meaning to say that there is no difference between the two. In a Sankirtan pastime like this, where Lord Chaitanya is the center and so many devotees are around with a desire to serve Lord Chaitanya, the same mood the gopis had when the Ras Leela was happening. They all wanted to serve Lord Krishna. 500 years before the advent of Lord Chaitanya, this Madhuryojvala Rasa was very less known. When you go to many of the temples of Krishna, especially South India, you will see Krishna alone. Udupi Krishna, Guru Krishna. So this whole concept of Srimati Radharani and the conjugal rasa between the two was delivered to us by Lord Chaitanya. And SrilaBhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is very nicely, in a very scientific way, not in a sahajiya way, not in a stupid way, not in a derogatory way, like the others were doing during the times of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. In a very scientific way, he is establishing the Madhuryojvala Rasa, or the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna. Srila Prabhupada would often say that, in fact, the acharyas would say, Rupa Raghunatha Pada Hoive Aputi, Tabe Ham Bhujavo Shri Yugal Apiliti. Only when I will understand the teachings of all the 6 Goswamis, starting from Rupa Goswami till Raghunath Das Goswami, only then will I be able to start understanding these conjugal pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So that conjugal pastimes of Radha and Krishna, which is the Sankirtan Rasa, was very nicely digested, assimilated and presented in a very easy to understand format by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he would explain it directly, strictly in the line of revelation of Rupa Goswami. He was a strict follower of Rupa Goswami. Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddhapa Siddhanta Dhvanta Harine. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you who are not in Golok Vrindavan or not you'll defeat your purpose, you'll defeat your existence. That is SrilaBhaktisiddhanta. One small request to all of you, this is from my personal experience. whenever we say the name of SrilaBhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, make sure you attach the word Prabhupada to it. From Gaudiya, but they got so disturbed, they stopped the lecture and they came to the speaker, why don't you use the word Prabhupada? So my humble request to all of you and to myself, the name of our great grandfather is His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Okay, quiz. What does the word Prabhupada mean? Please raise your hand and tell. Yes, Prabhu.
One who has taken shelter at the lotus feet of Prabhu.
That is Vishnupad. One who has taken shelter at the lotus feet of Vishnu or Krishna is Vishnupad. What is Prabhupada? You are very close.
One who takes shelter of Nityan.
One who takes shelter of Nityanand Prabhu. I don't know what to say. Not exactly. Yes, Prabhu. You want to say? Appeared as a result of a prayer. So this was Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who was praying. He had 10 children, by the way, and the fourth child, if I am not wrong, was Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. And at that time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was engaged as a deputy magistrate and also the superintendent of the Puri temple. He was an exalted Acharya, we all know. Our spiritual life will have no meaning until unless we read the Sharanagati prayers of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He was exemplary, in a very exemplary way, he was uplifting the society of devotees and establishing the Siddhanta of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But still, while working to reform the Gaudiya Vaishnavism, once he prayed to Lord Chaitanya. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur prayed, "My dear Lord, your teachings have been greatly depreciated and it is not in my power to restore them. So therefore, send me a ray of Vishnu. Send me a ray of your own self." Like that he prayed. So therefore, on February 6th, 1874, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was born to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. The name of his mother was Bhagavati Devi. If you go to the Yoga Peeth, inside the Yoga Peeth there is a temple of Gaur Gadadhar. On the left hand side of the temple of the Gaur Gadadhar, there is the Samadhi of Bhagavati Devi, mother of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. And so therefore, as a result of his prayers, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was born, or rather let's not use the word born, he appeared. And there were many astrologers at that time, so one of the foremost astrologers made this statement, that I have seen so many horoscopes, but I have never seen a horoscope like this. It seems to be a perfect horoscope. I will be a liar if I say that I have seen such a horoscope in my whole life. And then even as a child, the astrologer could say that I am able to clearly distinguish the 32 signs of a Mahapurush in the body of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So there are some signs, physical signs by which you can derive that yes, this person is a great personality. So those were evident in the body of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati as a child only. And he was born with the umbilical cord wrapped around his neck, just like the Brahmanas, they put the Brahmana thread on passing through the chest. So he was born like that. He appeared as a result of a prayer. And then, just 6 months later on, I hope all of you are attentively listening. Questions? 6 months later on, the Jagannath Puri Rath Yatra was happening. And due to the right word is yadrichaya, due to causeless mercy of Lord Jagannath, the Ratha stopped in front of the house of Bhaktivinoda Thakur for 3 days. So on the third day, Bhaktivinoda Thakur requested his wife that looks like Jagannath wants to stop here, why don't we get some mercy? So Bhagavati Devi took the 6-month-old child towards the Ratha of Jagannath. The child spontaneously raised his hands out and touched the lotus feet of Jagannath. And with the same spontaneity, a garland from the neck of Jagannath fell on the neck of the baby. Yes, like this only all the people who were on the Ratha, they said, Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! And then all the Pandavas who were there on the Rath they said that this boy is the great fortune, he is the mercy of Jagannath, he will become a great devotee of Krishna. Like that they all started saying. And when Bhaktivinoda Thakur came to know that this has happened, in his heart he got the confirmation that the son for whom I had prayed for is this son. He is the ray of Vishnu. And he became so happy, so very happy. Lesson learned. What is the lesson learned from this entire pastime? The lesson learned is we all should have spiritual desires like Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Enough of all nonsense material desires where I am in the center. Enough is enough. Nothing, it does not satisfy our heart also. Like a stinking pig, I have some desires, and when those desires get fulfilled also, I don't feel happy also. Shadanga Sharanagati Hoive Jahar Kahar Prarthana Sunive Shri Nanda Kumar. One who is surrendered to Krishna, his prayers will be heard by Nanda Kumar Shri Krishna. Question can be asked, Prabhuji. Those who are not devotees of Krishna, their desires are also being fulfilled. So yes, Krishna's expansion as Paramatma fulfills the desires of everybody according to their karma, jnana and avidya. Simply by praying or having spiritual desires like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we will be fully satisfied in the core of our heart. I hope and I pray that all of us will, suppose there's a jug which is full of dirty water, and that is our consciousness, citta. No one can just get rid of the dirty water. Tonight I have flushed it out like Lord Brahma does. He just changes his body and gets rid of the consciousness. We can't do that. So the only way to clean this water, dirty water which is in the jug, is to keep on pouring fresh water. Then one day all the dirt will move out and clean water will remain. So like that, since time immemorial, we have been like a pig, having only material desires. So the only way to cleanse our consciousness is to cultivate many, many millions, billions, trillions, quadrillions of spiritual desires. Teachings have been greatly depreciated and it is not in my power to restore them. Please send me a ray of yourself so that your teachings can be restored. Spiritual desires means you desire for the happiness of Krishna. This is called spiritual insight. Moving on. When the child was around 4 years old, the family of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, being a very orthodox and strict Vaishnava family, they wouldn't eat anything without offering to Krishna. When I will use the word Bimala Prasad, because presently the name of the child was Bimala Prasad. So Bimala Prasad, child Bimala Prasad, who is our Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada, he, just like a small child, out of curiosity, Bhaktivinoda Thakur brought some mangoes, and he took that mango and he ate it. If a 4-year-old child, suppose, I don't know what's the age of Goran now, what is his age? 6 years old. So if a 6-year-old child, let's say my wallet is kept here or my phone is kept here, if a 6-year-old child runs away with my phone, what will I do? I'll run behind the child and I will hug the child. Thank you for running away with my wallet. And probably I'll take out a 500 note and give him also. But let's say if my friend, if he runs away with my wallet, what will I do? I'll run behind him, I'll not hug him, I'll kick him. And then I'll hand him over to police. Point which I'm trying to communicate is that when intelligence is developed, only then punishment is applicable. 4-year-old child doesn't even know anything. Very sincerely, he just took a mango. Father has brought. So he took that mango and ate it. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur called him. Bimala Prasad, these mangoes were not offered to Krishna. You should not eat like this. The child Bimala Prasad took it so seriously. At the age of 4, he took a vow that henceforth, for the rest of my life, I will not eat mangoes because I am an offender at the lotus feet of Krishna. This vow itself shows that he is not an ordinary soul. This is not ordinary consciousness. How many of us are in a position to take a lifelong vow, first of all? Forget about, take a vow, simple vow, as simple as drinking 1 liter water every day in the morning. Nobody can take a vow. This is our situation, and he is a child at the age of 4 and taking such a vow. His Divine Grace, AcyutaArjunasakha Swami Prabhupada would often say that whenever he would come or whenever we would meet him, we would offer him mangoes and he would say, even in his old age, he would say that no, I cannot eat mangoes, I am an offender. I cannot eat mangoes. And then Bimala Prasad showed this divine consciousness, divine servant consciousness rather. And then by the time he reached the age of 7, he memorized the entire Bhagavad Gita. How many verses are there in Bhagavad Gita? And what age did he memorize everything? 7 years, 700 verses. Now this memorization was not like a parrot. Srila Prabhupada tells in his lectures, even a parrot can chant Hare Krishna and recite shlokas. But when a cat comes and catches the neck of the parrot, what will the parrot say? Bang, bang, bang. Like that the parrot is. The lesson is, Prabhupada says, Bhajan karo, sadhan karo, marte jaan lo bhai. Whatever bhajan and sadhana you do, it will be tested at the time of death. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Prabhupada's memorization was not like that of a parrot. He memorized it with the explanations of his father and the other acharyas. He was in a position to help people understand what is the preaching application, personal application, and the mood and mission of that particular verse. And all this was happening at the end. Is only interested in hearing from the Bhakti Vedantas. So similarly, Vimala Prasad learnt all the verses of Bhagavad Gita along with the Acharya commentaries and explanations at the age of 7, simply because he heard very nicely. So what lessons do we derive from this snapshot of the pastimes of Srila Prabhupada? The lesson derived is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada is teaching us that we should all try to give up sense gratification. Sense gratification means trying to enjoy the property of Krishna, which does not belong to me, which is not legitimately mine. Just like when you pass stool in the morning, the days where you have nicely passed stool, you feel so relaxed, so much energy. Similarly, if you give up sense gratification, you will feel the same happiness, the same energy. It's a fact, try and see. When we are engaged in some sense gratification and when we give it up, you will feel liberated, you will feel energetic, you will feel enthusiastic, you will feel that you have come in your natural state of existence. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada taught us that it is good to give up sense gratification right from the age of 4. Practice from the age of 4 to start giving up sense gratification. This is the second lesson learned. And the next lesson is we have to be very enthusiastic in our sadhana, primarily Shravanam and Kirtanam. Look at the enthusiasm of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. By the age of 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita, fully understood, applied and realized. It was not just Jnana, but it was Vijnana. Jnana Vijnana Sahitam. So the lesson here is that we have to be very enthusiastic in our Shravanam and Kirtanam and try to grab as much as possible. When I was in school, my geography teacher was kind of spiritually inclined. She used to often talk to us things which we wouldn't understand. But now when I reflect on her teachings, I understand. One day, she came in our class and she said that life is like a walk and you have a bag with you. And on the way, while you are walking, there are many stones which you will get. Some of these stones will be lying down, some of these stones will be thrown at you. Your job is to pick up these stones and put it in your bag. And once when you reach the end of the road, all these stones will convert into diamonds. And then you will repent, I wish I had picked up more stones. Spiritual life is like that. At every moment we get opportunity of Shravanam and Kirtanam. In whichever way, we should collect as much as possible. And then, at the time of death, all of them will convert into diamonds of Krishna Prema. And at that time, we should not be in a position to repent that I wish I had heard more attentively, I wish I had chanted more seriously, I wish I had served more diligently. So this is the lesson which Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is conveying to us with his pastimes. Any problem?
Battery life stopped.
Life stopped. Very good. Is there anyone who can help?
It's going on.
Okay. As Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada grew up, very much like Lord Chaitanya, he started his own Chatushpathi, which is a Sanskrit school. In 1897, he had started and registered his own Chatushpathi, an autonomous Sanskrit school, and he was writing journals like Jyotirvid, Brihaspati, and many old treatises on astrology were also being published. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, by the age of 14, had become a very good expert in 4 fields. These fields are, number 1, English, number 2, mathematics, number 3, astrology, and number 4, Sanskrit. These 4 areas he had mastered. Of course, needless to say, the Bengali language, the Hindi language, and the Assamese language, and what kind of commentary would it be. Surya Siddhanta is not just a book of astronomy but a book of mathematics also. And he's writing commentary on it in Sanskrit also. And he published it in English also. So when he wrote the commentary on Surya Siddhanta, the Sanskrit Society of India gave him the title Siddhanta Saraswati in recognition of his erudition. His great knowledge, great expertise, great scholarship. And then from now on he was being called not as Bimla Prasad but Siddhanta Saraswati by everybody. He became so famous throughout the country that the king of Tripura wrote a letter to him that I want you to come and accept the post of governor in my kingdom. In those days it was called as Diwan. I have request for you that you kindly take charge of teaching my prince, the prince of Tripura. There are some royal records of Tripura, which is called as Raj Ratnakara. Please take care of those records. And then there is a lot of corruption and other things happening in my government. I am not able to handle. You please come and take care. In those days, every youth would aspire for such kind of a job. And the letter said that I do not want to negotiate the salary with you. Whatever you want will be provided. There is one palace which I am not using. I am providing it for your residence. Okay. How many of you would want such a job offer? Staying in a palace, salary whatever you want, just come, do whatever you want, become the governor. And that he didn't appear for any interview, it just came to him because of his expertise. So he went there, he served as the Tripura royal government. And many British officials also used to come regularly to take advice from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, who at this time was called as Siddhanta Saraswati. However, something very strange happened, which is not strange but expected. After a short period of service, Siddhanta Saraswati was no longer in a mood of being a governor. He didn't want to stay in palace anymore. He didn't want to spend time with the corrupt bureaucrats anymore. He didn't want to be in the advisory body of the British officials anymore. Wherever he went, he saw that there was a strong lack of Krishna consciousness. He could notice that there is so much malice and corruption because people are not Krishna conscious. He could notice that there is so much misery all around because people are not Krishna conscious. So therefore he came to the conclusion that the only scarcity in this world is lack of Krishna consciousness. And in order to do something, Vaishnava is a paradukha dukhi, in order to do something about it, he had to go deeper in introspection and deeper into the teachings of the Acharyas. So one day, he expressed his desire to the king of Tripura. His name was Maharaj Radha Kishore Manikya Bahadur. He told him that, you know what, I want to go deeper into the path of bhakti. I want to understand how to help the people in general. I want to help to spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya. So therefore, I want to probably take the renounced order of life. Maharaj Radha Krishna Manikya Bahadur became so happy when he heard this. He said that, very good. You are so intelligent and you are so qualified. You are the right person to spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya. You don't worry. For the rest of your life, I give you pension. You don't need to work. Just go wherever you are, do whatever you are. Just keep sending me your address so that I can send the money on. See. This is the glory. I mean, from a material angle also, if you analyze, our acharyas are far superior to anyone. the briefcase of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It is mentioned he spent 6 years like this. He kept on moving with his father from Kashi to Prayag to Gaya and other holy places. And at Kashi, he attended a discussion between Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Rama Mishra Shastri, who was from the Ramanuja Sampradaya. And after hearing this talk between Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Rama Mishra Shastri, his desire to take the renounced order of life became very strong, and then he understood that the next step in my life is to begin my search of a guru. So till now, our Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada had only heard from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur understood the mind of his son. In those days, in 1900s, no son would remain unmarried till the age of 20. Son means get him married at the age of 14, 15, 16. So by this time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur had understood the mind of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. And he said that, see, I am a Grihastha. And you want to take the renounced order. It doesn't seem good if I become your initiating spiritual master. Why don't you go to Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj? He is such a nice personality, the crest jewel of the renounced order. So therefore he directed him towards Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So from this entire pastime of few years, the lesson which we can derive is the best of the erudition, the best of the talent, the best of the money and the best of the palaces cannot satisfy the core of your heart. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada displayed it with his pastimes. Living in a palace as a governor, but gave it all up. Became a servant of Bhaktivinoda Thakur simply to carry his briefcase. Because he was in the right association at the right time, he could understand what is the purpose of his life. The purpose of his life was to exclusively dedicate himself for the mission of Lord Chaitanya. And whenever one becomes very serious and sincere, there is a Chinese proverb which says, when the disciple is ready, the master appears. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur became ready to receive the mercy of Guru. And therefore the whole episode of the entry of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was about to happen. So the lesson learned here is, always understand that happiness comes from the holy name and Srimad Bhagavatam, and not from money and palaces. Okay, so then he became very determined to get the mercy of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Following the advice of his father, he went to Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Now Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj would regularly come to the house of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, sometimes hear from Bhaktivinoda Thakur, sometimes do kirtan with Bhaktivinoda Thakur and go. When Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj saw Siddhanta Saraswati coming to him for Diksha, he said, are you joking? You are the son of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and you yourself are Siddhanta Saraswati, and you want Diksha from me? I am an uneducated man. Get lost. Don't waste my time. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was not in the mood to give up. He came again. And now the excuse which Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj started giving was, I will ask Lord Chaitanya and I will get back to you. If he wants me to initiate, I will initiate. So 2-3 times again when he went, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj simply rejected him by saying, I forgot to ask Lord Chaitanya. Just like a I don't know what analogy to give. There is no analogy. I forgot to ask Lord Chaitanya. So again and again Bhaktisiddhanta was coming back, and once Bhaktisiddhanta, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj commented that, see, I have not yet asked Lord Chaitanya, but one thing I want to tell you. He said, scholarship and erudition is extremely insignificant in comparison to devotion to Lord Chaitanya. This was the turning point of the life of Siddhanta Saraswati. Since that day onwards, he stopped engaging in astrology. He stopped engaging in all kinds of scholarship pursuits, and he tried to intensify his devotion to Lord Chaitanya. He tried to intensify his focus on the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. See, these are all pastimes, no? These are all liberated souls. They just do these things to teach us a lesson. There is no fault in Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, or there is no fault in Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. These are just leelas, pastimes, just to teach us. And then he continued going again and again and again. He went to Bhaktivinoda Thakur to say, this is the situation. At least 12 times I have gone. I have not got initiation. Imagine if one of us, we come to hear a class in this hall and we are sent back. And if 12 times we are sent back, probably we will give up Krishna consciousness only. And imagine if somebody tries to take initiation and goes to a guru, and 12 times the guru says, Badna. Guru change. Guru change will happen. Guru pyar will happen, Guru change will happen. So he went with his sorrowful heart to his father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur told him the pastime of Sri Ramanujacharya. He said, 18 times is the devotee of Kapata Chudamani. Krishna's name is Kapata Chudamani, means the supreme cheater. So he said that my guru is the devotee of the supreme cheater. So I need to do something so that all this cheating will stop now. So he went to Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj with a firm determination that today, if you do not give me initiation, I am going to commit suicide in the Ganges, which is flowing next to your ashram. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj said, Jo karna hai, jao. And then with full intention and full seriousness, with all that vigor, he really got up and started running towards the Ganges. And then Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj called him back and he said, I am ready to give you initiation. So Gaur Kishore Das Babaji initiated him. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj didn't have any beads to give. He didn't have anything to give. So he tore a piece of his loincloth, a koken, and he gave it to him, to his disciple. And this is my property and I am giving it to you and I accepted you as my disciple. And then he gave him an instruction that you kindly preach the absolute truth and keep aside all other works. Preach the absolute truth and keep aside all other work. And this instruction, he took it very seriously and he really kept aside all other work and went on chanting and preaching for the rest of his life. So what is the lesson learned from here? The lesson learned here is we should all be very determined to get the mercy of Guru. Tad vignartham sargurumeva vikachet samit pani shrotriyam brahmanishtham. Srila Prabhupada would say that one who is very serious to advance in Krishna consciousness must approach a spiritual master. And even Krishna did it. Tad vidhi pranipate na pariprashnena seva. Even he went to Sandipani Muni ashram. Even Lord Chaitanya went to Ishwarpuri. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also had to approach a spiritual master. One can say that chanting of Hare Krishna is sufficient to purify the heart and go back home, back to Godhead. But to learn the art of surrender, you need a guru. In fact, specifically speaking, to learn the art of surrender, you need a Prakat Guru. I can't say that AC Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is my guru. Or why AC? Directly Rupa Goswami is my guru. I can't say that. I need a person who can catch my ears, who can, pull my collar and shake me up. Prakat Guru. So he is teaching all of us. It is very, very important to have a guru. Even if you are Siddhanta Saraswati, you need a guru. So without guru, it is very difficult to progress. Tadvijñātam sa gurum eva bhigachet. The word eva bhigachet means that there is no option, must, compulsorily you need to approach a spiritual master. There is no option here. This is the lesson which we learn. Next, after receiving initiation from his spiritual master, he tried to do two things. He tried to intensify his japa and he tried to intensify his preaching. So in 1905, he took a vow of chanting 1 billion rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. How much is 1 billion? Sorry?
100 crores.
100 crore rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We cannot even imagine what it means. So therefore he started residing in Mayapur in a grass hut near the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. And he chanted the Mahamantra day and night. Only once a day he cooked rice in an earthen pot and ate with his hands tied backwards. Means he would not use his hands while eating. Slept on the ground, and thatched hut, grass hut roof means whenever rain will come, it will leak. So at that time he did not call any waterproofing experts, doctor fix it and all those things. It would leak, so he would just take an umbrella and sat beneath the umbrella and wait for the rain to stop. And during that time he would chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This was his life. When Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj came to know that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, who is right now Siddhanta Saraswati, the son of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, has developed this kind of mood to do japa, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj started calling his disciple as Prabhu. He used to say, my Prabhu has developed renunciation like Rupa and Sanatana. This was the comment. So if we want to understand the renunciation of Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, we have to understand Bhaktisiddhanta Vaibhav, the life and teachings of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. So what is the lesson which Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada is teaching us? The lesson here is that human life is meant for tapasya. And this tapasya should be done for the pleasure of Lord Hari. Without tapasya, it is not possible. See, in the conditioned state, in the fallen conditioned state, there are only two options. Either you do tapasya or you do sense gratification. If you don't do tapasya, you will do sense gratification. And if you don't do sense gratification, then it is tapasya. So therefore, Maharaj Rishabh Dev would say, and in his teachings, that my dear boys, of all the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form should not work hard day and night, simply for sense gratification, which is available even for the dogs and hogs that eat stool. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified, and when one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life which is transcendental to material happiness, and it continues forever. Tapo divyam putrakayena sattvam shuddhaye yasman brahma saukyam va anantam. So in order to get that brahma saukhya, that eternal, divine, transcendental happiness, we should do tapasya. And Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is teaching us that we should do tapasya. If we do not do tapasya, forget about going back home, back to God. It is simply not possible. Forget about developing jnana and vairagya. It is simply not possible. And Mahaprabhura Bhakta Jana Vairagya Pradhan. The primary quality of the devotees of Lord Chaitanya is that they are Vairagya Pradhan. They are all Vairagis. True Vairagya means to have Anurag in Krishna. One should be completely fixed in Krishna consciousness. That is called Vairagya. So in order to come to that platform, it is very essential to do tapasya. And Srila Prabhupada has taught us the tapasya of morning program. Morning program means coming up for Mangalarti, listening from the acharyas, chanting japa, attending Guru Puja, Bhagavatam class, doing services, sleeping for the purpose of serving Krishna, eating for the purpose of serving Krishna, doing everything for the purpose of serving Krishna. And everything starts from the morning program. One who has not seen the Brahma Muhurta can never see Parabrahma. There is no hope. There is absolutely no hope. If you don't see Brahma Muhurta, Parabrahma Bhagavan Sri Krishna will never become visible to our eyes. Please make a note of that. And then finally, he again started preaching after 9 years of chanting 100 crore rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He started preaching. In 1912, a person called Manindra Nandi, who was the Maharaj of Kasim Bazar, I don't know where is this place, you may time to search. He arranged a Vaishnav Sammelan and he invited Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami. By now he was called as Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami, to do a lecture on Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotional service. He went there, but he didn't like that Sammelan because it was full of various groups of Sahajiyas. Who is a Sahajya? Who can tell me? Please raise your hand and tell me. Who is a Sahajya? Yes, Prabhuji.
Sahajya who take bhakti cheap.
Yes,
And
yes.
Who show as if they are devotees of Krishna but they don't follow him.
Yes. Those who show that they are devotees of Krishna. Now, devotee is a very big word. Devotee means I do nothing else other than serving Krishna. That is devotee. If I am engaged in doing sense gratification and if I am showing that I am a devotee of Krishna, that is called being a Sahaja. Srila Prabhupada would often say, first, deserve, then desire. Those people who do not deserve but simply like to be on the platform of their desire, they are Sahajas. So there are some names of Sahajas which were given. By the way, whatever I am speaking, it is from a book called as Bhaktisiddhanta Vaibhav, and another book is Ray of Vishnu. Both are available in Vedabase. I am just presenting a gist, you can read in more detail. So Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami went to that Sammelan, and at that time there were many Sahajiyas who were from the groups such as Aul, Baul, Kartabhaja, Neda, Nedi, Daravesha, Sain, etc. All these people had come and fully spoiling the whole culture of Vaishnavism in that Sammelan. Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami was so disgusted that he did not accept prasad for 4 days in the association of those people. He came back to Mayapur and then he accepted Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prasad. When Maharaj Manindra Nandi, when he came to know, he came back to Mayapur and he begged forgiveness. So when all this was happening, Siddhanta Saraswati decided one day to launch a severe attack on all these Sahajiyas. and these pseudo-religious groups, and he did not spare anyone. Not even there were few names are given, few such so-called Goswamis who were nationally famous for their Sahajiya tendencies. Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami, at the risk of being killed, he was exposing everybody, and he did not leave anyone. However, no matter how much he tried, these Sahajiyas were also not stopping. They were also more vigorously expanding their Sahajiya movement. So one day, he was a little bit, not in a happy state of mind, and he was thinking what to do, how to move forward. I'm feeling a little disheartened. So he decided again I will go back to the vrata of 100 crore rounds of Hare Krishna Mahaprabhu. So when he was thinking like this, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to his vision and he told him, do not be disheartened. Take up the task of re-establishing the Varnashram Dharma with new vigor and preach the message of Sri Krishna everywhere. I will personally send help. So he heard this from Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And after that, rest is history. He never stopped. He never stopped. And he was ready to go and do anything and everything for the service of Lord Chaitanya. Srila Prabhupada says in the Bhagavatam purports that a traveler leaves home in search of wealth in far distant places, and sometimes in the forest, and sometimes in the ocean, and is sometimes on the hilltops. Certainly there are many troubles for the traveler when he is in such unknown places. But all such troubles are at once mitigated as soon as the sense of his family affection is remembered. And as soon as he returns home, he forgets all such troubles. Srila Prabhupada says that the devotee of Lord Krishna is in such a family affection with Lord Krishna and is ready to do everything for Krishna. And in the most difficult situations, simply a smile of Krishna will wipe out billions of years of struggles and miseries. So in that mood, Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami was never stopping. And then he did something really big. On the request of Madhusudan Das Goswami of Vrindavan, a Vaishnav Sammelan was organized in Midnapur, where all the Smartha Brahmanas and all the top Pandits and Acharyas of India were congregating. And the topic of this discussion was, who is superior, Brahmanas or Vaishnavas? Originally, Bhaktivinoda Thakur had to go there, but due to being sick, he sent his son, Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami. So in the beginning, when the Sabha started, the Smartha Pandits, whom I prefer to call the Smart Pandits, or the Smart Brahmanas, they first spoke and they claimed how a person born in the family of a Shudra, even though initiated by a spiritual master, could never become purified enough in that life and perform Brahmanical duties of worshipping the deity or initiating disciples. This was their stand. And this was this whole thought process is the basis of casteism in India. So Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami was simply listening all that nonsense. And then when his turn came to speak, he began quoting for the first one day, or the second day when his turn came to speak, he just delivered a speech in which he glorified the Brahmanas and the glorious qualities of the Brahmanas. So all the smart Brahmanas or the Smartha Brahmanas, they became very happy. Looks like he apna aadmi hai. He's such a great person. We have to approach him and we have to, give him some bribe or something and put him on our side. But the third day onwards, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he started speaking how Brahmanas are made by training and by qualifications and not by birth. And he started giving reference after reference after reference, how even if somebody who is born in the family of a Brahmana, if he does not possess the qualifications of a Brahmana, he should be rejected as a Brahma Bandhu. And even if somebody is born in the family of a dog eater, but he shows the qualities of a Brahmana and has taken the shelter of an Acharya, then that person becomes fit enough to give initiation to others. And he established it with so many proofs. And the gravity with which he spoke, the intensity with which he presented it, and the scholarship, the devotional scholarship which he displayed there, it was as if he was roaring from the stage. And just like when a lion roars, what the other small animals do? Just run away. So all the peoples became very quiet. Nobody said anything. And every time in his speech, he would sometimes ask, any disagreement? Any objection? Nobody would say anything. And in that way, the fourth day he went on to do more miracles. He went on to establish that Brahmanas are not as superior as that of Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas, being pure devotees of the Lord, they are more superior to Brahmanas also. So this was the victory of Vaishnavism in India. I'm not able to present it in the right way, but if you read the book, the impact which it had, the British officials were hearing it, the greatest newspapers were hearing it, the people from the Western world were hearing it, all the Smarta Pandits, Acharyas and the Sampradayas were hearing it, and everybody would accept that he is our leader. And after that, by the way, some Buddhists and Jains were also there. They also could not say anything in front of him. And after the fourth day of discussion, they appointed him as the head of this Sammelan, the president of this Sammelan for the next few years. And then they took him in the side, they washed his feet in a tank, and they took the water of that tank and sprinkled on everybody. All the great acharyas and pandits got the water which has washed the feet of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati on their feet. So therefore, this was the victory of Vaishnavism. The lesson learned here is Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhuve Namaha. The science of Krishna needs to be established, and one needs to do whatever it takes to do that. One may feel that I am not empowered like Bhaktisiddhanta. Arey, who am I? But then we should take inspiration from Vasudeva. Vasudeva was ordered, lift Krishna. Krishna ordered Vasudeva, lift me and take me from here. And at that time he was in chains. There were 7 gates, so many guards waiting outside. He didn't know how he could execute it, but he just had faith in the instruction and tried to follow Krishna's instructions. And the moment he did that, he got empowered. So similarly, all of us, we may feel that we are not empowered, but if we make a sincere attempt to follow the instructions of Guru, whether we are qualified, whether we are unqualified, the moment we decide to give a sincere attempt, in that moment we will receive the empowerment. This is what Bhaktisiddhanta is teaching us. And then lastly, the famous sannyas pastime. It so happened that in a particular year, his father, Thakur, passed away. Few months later on, his mother passed away. And then few months later on, his spiritual master also passed away. Back to back to back. So he didn't know what to do. He continued editing the magazines of his father, Sajjan Toshani. And he was thinking, my father has ordered me to spread the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. My dying mother, she took a promise from me that I will fulfill the instructions of my father. And my spiritual master also ordered me, but how will I preach? I have no money. I have no resources. I have no people who will assist me. How will I preach? And he was going into a state which can be called as not so enthusiastic. He was sitting in the Yoga Peeth temple made by his father, and he was thinking what to do in life. how to execute this instruction, and he was feeling very helpless. Just like Ved Vyas, after writing all the Vedas and Puranas and Upanishads, one day he was just sitting and feeling helpless that why am I not feeling satisfied in life? What is that which is missing? I tried to do everything, but still things don't seem to work. So when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was sitting like that, he saw Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Srivas Thakur, and Gadadhar Pandit, and the Panch Tattva, along with Rup, Sanatan, other Goswamis, along with Bhaktivinoda Thakur and his spiritual master. They all entered in a procession, and he could see that. And this time, Lord Chaitanya and others, the Panch Tattva, they simply continued their dance. But the Guru Parampara came, especially Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, came and spoke to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes this, and therefore it is available for us to read. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was told, don't worry at all. With supreme enthusiasm, preach. This instruction is valid for everybody. It is valid for all of us. Please listen very carefully. Don't worry at all. With supreme enthusiasm, preach the conclusion of pure devotion. In earnestness, intensely chant the holy names and glorify the abode, form, attributes, associates, and the pastimes of Krishna at various places. All of us will help you. There is no need to worry. The support of unlimited people, countless wealth, and boundless learning await the blessing of being engaged in your service. They will be received as and when they are necessary. No type of worldly hindrance or danger will be able to make any obstruction for this great work of yours. We are always with you. This was the revelation made to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And you know what he did after this? It was the year 1918. After his spiritual, very few people know that his spiritual master came and spoke to him like this. So he took the photo of his spiritual master, put it in front of him and took sannyasa. And many people criticize, hey, what is he doing? It is unauthorized, non-qualified. They don't know that his spiritual master has come and pacified him and he has ordered him to do that. So he took sannyas. And he took a decision that from this day onwards, my mind, my body and my words are to be exclusively used in the service of Krishna and for nobody else. So I would like to conclude today's discussion. There is more you would like to read in the book. How he helped so many people. How he displayed pure servant consciousness and spiritual anxieties all this time. I would like to skip to the pastimes of Brihad Mridanga. By the time it was 1924, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, now his name is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami, Prabhupada, he would publish 7 periodicals. Sajan Toshni, a fortnightly Bengali. The Harmonist, an English fortnightly. Gaudiya, a Bengali weekly. Bhagavata, a Hindi fortnightly. Nadia Prakash, a Bengali daily. Kirtana, an Assamese monthly. And Paramarthi in Oriya weekly. These were the 7 magazines which were being published on a weekly or a fortnightly or a monthly basis. This is a lot of work, by the way. Please take note that he was not just sitting in one place, he was moving around and preaching. By now, he has become the Acharya of the whole country. It is said that when he would travel in train, the train would stop at every station. And the local people or the local pious people, the local government officials, the British officials, everybody would come and wait at every station with a garland. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami would get down, give a 20-minute lecture, signal to the station master that we are ready, and then the train would proceed. That was the statue of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. At one such station, he was asked that why he is printing a daily spiritual newspaper called Nadia Prakash. What is the need of printing it daily? So SrilaBhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in a very roaring attitude, he replied. He said that if an insignificant city can produce 5 daily newspapers, then why can't we publish a newspaper every second about the eternal and the ever-fresh transcendental activities of Krishna in his unlimited spiritual planet Golok Vrindavan? This was the mood. And therefore, when he met his disciple at Radhakund near Bagh Bazar temple, after the Bagh Bazar temple, he said that if you have money, print books. To which disciple he told this? His Divine Grace AcyutaArjunasakha. So therefore, for the next few years, he continued preaching like this. He initiated many sannyasis, many disciples, and they were all under his direction, preaching, chanting. He gave Babaji initiation to few people also. And then during this time only, he wrote a letter to his Divine Grace AcyutaArjunasakha Swami Prabhupada that preach in the English language. This will be good for you as well as the people in general. So in this way, he once in the Gaudiya Math, someone challenged Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur that here is the altar and next to it you are keeping the printing machine. Even when the altar is closed, this chick printing tick is going on. So disturbing to the deities. Again, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur roared and said that this is not tick, this is kirtan which is going on. And the deities are very happy. And immediately after that, he designed the Gaudiya Math logo, in which he puts Raga Bhakti and printing press on the same samples. So this is the great Acharya, and he wanted all of us to be missionaries. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would call a person who doesn't preach as Sandera Gobar, the dung of a bull. Now, dung of a cow has some usage. But if you take the dung of a bull, and even if you try to burn it, only smoke comes out. Heat doesn't come. So he's telling, Prana ache jaat hetu prachar. So everybody should intensely chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and one should intensely preach. This is the spirit of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada. In the early hours of January 1st, 1937, listening to the singing of Sri Rupa Manjari Pada, he ended up his earthly pastimes. We all know that in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada is serving as Nayana Mani Manjari. So Srimati Radharani is the best servant of Krishna. A very confidential servant of Srimati Radharani is Lalita. A very confidential servant of Lalita is Rup Manjari, and a very confidential servant of Rup Manjari is Nayan Mani Manjari. So we are talking about the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of God. The mission of Lord Chaitanya is calling us. Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport, if one is in advanced knowledge, he must be prepared to sacrifice anything for a better cause. All of you are very advanced in knowledge. So all of you should be prepared to sacrifice anything for a better cause. At the present moment, the entire world is in a dangerous position under the spell of godless civilization. The Krishna consciousness movement needs many exalted, learned persons who will sacrifice their lives to revive God consciousness throughout the world. We therefore invite all men and women advanced in knowledge to join Krishna consciousness movement and sacrifice their lives for the great cause of reviving the God consciousness in the human society. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare I'm very, very grateful that I got this opportunity to glorify such a great personality. And I'm thankful to all of you that you gave a careful oral reception. Hare Krishna. Are there any
Question.
Are there any questions? Yes.
Maharaj, in the declaration that no problems will come, please proceed. But we see that he had life threats also at several times.
Yes.
Towards the preaching.
Yes.
So how should we understand?
Yes. His Guru Maharaj also said something else. I will say that also. No type of worldly hindrance or danger will be able to make any obstruction for this great work of yours. He was not told that there will be no hindrance and no obstruction. He was blessed that no hindrance or no obstruction will be able to obstruct your great work. We are always there with you. Basically, in simple words, he was told that be prepared to fight. There will be problems, but by our grace, you will be able to overcome all problems. And this is how practically it should be. This is called as Bhakti Shakti. If the Acharyas do not show their Bhakti Shakti in difficult and adverse circumstances, how will the glory of Bhakti Yoga be established? If Prahlad Maharaj wouldn't have been put in so many difficulties, how would the glory of a pure devotee be established? So therefore it is necessary. Greater the devotee, greater will be the tests. And by the grace of Krishna, the devotee will pass those tests and establish the glory of bhakti. Having said that, we should always remember Krishna will never give us a test which we cannot pass. So if we have a test in our life, that means Krishna has given us the answer sheet also. We just need to sit and write the answer. Only by the mercy of Krishna we will pass all the tests. In one lecture I heard my spiritual masters telling that Krishna will test you. And then he will test you again. And then he will test you again. And then he will test you again. And after that there will be one final test and bus. There will be no more tests. I have not understood what this means, but I like this. And I remember that I will always be tested. So that's how life has to be. The glory of bhakti gets established by pure devotees of Krishna who take trouble for Krishna. Madhavendra Puri, with so much difficulty, he brought Chandan for the Lord. There is a very nice verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, I am trying to recollect. Ananda badhila mane dukkha na ganila. Bahu parishrama Chandan remuna anila. Ananda badhila mane dukkha na ganila. So Madhavendra Puri went through so many difficulties. He was an acharya. He could have told, he had so many thousands of disciples. He could have told, the Lord has appeared in my dream, go and get this Chandan. Very important, task number one. But he did it himself. And he went through so many miseries. But Ananda badhila mane dukkha na ganila. He did not count the miseries which he went through to serve the Lord. Rather, the more the miseries he took, the more the spiritual happiness in his heart increased. And this is the mode of Raja. The more we serve Krishna, the more we get purified and the more we relish. I hope I have answered your question. Okay, if there are... Okay, there's one more question.
Prabhuji, you said, you told that one who have not seen Brahma Murta, he cannot see the Krishna. So what about those people who chant in other times? So are we not, difficult to see?
Question is, one who has not seen the Brahma Murta, will not see Parabrahma. This was the statement made in the class. The question is, what about those people who don't chant in the Brahma Muhurta? See, Srila Prabhupada always wanted his disciples, his followers, to be awake in the Brahma Muhurta. Once Srila Prabhupada was asked, Srila Prabhupada, in what circumstances we can skip the Mangal Aarti? Srila Prabhupada said, if you are not dead, you should be there for Mangal. So that is the expectation of an Acharya. But please be happy in the core of your heart that our Acharya is more merciful than anybody else.